You're watching Central Illinois' best source for news and weather. WAND News at 4 starts now.
Assessing the damage now at 4, a look at the devastation left after storms ripped through the south. Plus the rush for vaccinations, how health officials are making changes to make sure more people get the shot. We're going to begin with your weather on this Tuesday. Taking a live look outside right now. Some rain coming down. You see it over Lake Decatur right there. Gray skies. Not a good day to be outside. So let's send it over to meteorologist Casey Rigner. Casey, a much quieter day than yesterday.
Certainly. It's actually been a peaceful day. Sometimes it's nice to just hone in, listen to a light drizzle. We can always hear it here in the studio, and it is much better than around this time yesterday, give or take a couple hours. For now, look at this. Coles County, raindrops there in abundance on our Eastern Illinois University Flooring America weather bug camera over in Coles County. Very similar scene for most of us. Look at all these rain showers that they have encompassed Central Illinois since this morning, starting to let up ever so slightly, but they will hang out for the next couple of hours or so. In fact, here's an hour by hour for you. This is specifically for Decatur. Areas elsewhere, you may have the rain showers a little bit longer, but for the most part, temperatures in the middle 50s across the board. We did reach about 58, 59 degrees here in Decatur earlier on this afternoon. A lot of rain chances in the forecast this upcoming week. Stick around for the 7-day coming up in a few minutes.
Well, it is a much calmer, a much quieter day for Central Illinois after those severe storms yesterday. Now, these are some pictures and images submitted to us by you guys out there as you watch these storms that struck Central Illinois hard in the evening hours. Dark clouds brought hail, lightning, and 4 separate tornadoes. The National Weather Service is not assessing the damage, so the tornadoes will be rated an EF unknown. And severe storms and tornadoes left behind damage across dozens of communities in the south. Many are still without power. They're bracing for more wind and hail and the possibility of tornadoes as those storms continue to make their way southeast. Jay Gray has a closer look at the damage and what could come next.
The chaos unleashed early in Texas. Tornadoes, heavy rain and hail, a string of violent storms rushing from the southwest through the southeast.
That was on the other side,
leaving a trail of destruction.
I heard the tin ripping off the roof and glass breaking. I guess that's when the tree went through the living room window.
Roofs and siding peeled away from homes and businesses, windows shattered, blasted from their frames. Other structures crumbling in on themselves from the force of the wind. Survivors overwhelmed by the power and intensity of the storms.
We have a mighty God, because I don't know how they survived that. When I look, I'm just wowed.
Cars picked up and scattered. These 18-wheelers pushed over on their side. Power lines and this tower snapped. Trees splintered, some pulled from their roots.
Trees are down and it just looked really bad.
And there's concern it could get even worse. Forecasters warning the same region could be in for another round of severe weather through the evening. Jay Gray, NBC News.
And for you to stay up to date on any weather alerts and storm reports in real time, download the WAND News app. It's available for free in the Apple app and the Google Play Store. Some new information this afternoon. The Vermilion County coroner has identified a man shot Sunday night as 34-year-old Matthew O'Hereta of Danville. Police say he was shot in the back in the 600 block of Plum. Police say someone got out of a vehicle, fired one shot at him before getting back into their vehicle and fleeing the scene. And the Vermilion County coroner has also identified the woman killed in a crash on Route 49 as 59-year-old Robin Robinson. State police say an SUV was turning into a private drive when Robinson's car hit that SUV. The driver of the SUV was treated for minor injuries and cited for failure to yield. A Decatur firefighter is recovering after being hurt fighting a fire. The fire in the 2000 block of North Charles Street started just before midnight last night. The 2 people inside were able to get out safely. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. New at 4, the state is seeing a decline in people getting the COVID vaccine as state leaders urge more people to get the shot. Last week, the state administered over 1,000 vaccines. Since the start of this week, IDPH says the number has dropped to 40,000. Governor J.B. Pritzker said today it's all about making vaccines available so people don't have an excuse to not get one.
Some of them are hesitant. Some of them would like to have the vaccination somewhere close by to them. It's hard to get to it. We're trying to bring it to them. So we're doing everything we can to change the way we're offering the vaccine.
So far, the state has administered 9 million doses of the shot. 32% of the population is fully vaccinated. Sangamon County has the highest vaccination rate with 38% of the county fully vaccinated. Champaign at 35% and Macon is at 28%. The governor also said today the state could soon move into the bridge phase by July. He said this is because of several days of case rates and hospitalizations moving in the right direction.
Our statewide COVID case rates and hospitalizations flatten and begin to fall, demonstrating a surge far short of the one that we saw over the fall and the winter. To be clear, our fight against the virus isn't over yet, but things are getting better.
Now, these metrics must continue to stay the same or decrease for 28 consecutive days to be able to move phases. 2,200 new cases of COVID-19 were reported statewide in the last 24 hours. 19 more people have died. The state's positivity rate is at 4%. The FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer's COVID vaccine for use in children ages 12 to 15. The approval could come as soon as early next week. A recent study found the 2-dose Pfizer vaccine was both safe and effective for the age group. President Joe Biden set a new target for vaccinating America this summer. Those ages 12 to 15, those who haven't gotten around to it, and convincing the rest. He wants to have 70% of adults vaccinated with at least one shot and have 160 million fully vaccinated by the 4th of July.
Walk into your local pharmacy without an appointment. Go to the doctor or local health clinic. It's free. It's nearby. Every adult is eligible.
We are always evaluating how to ensure we're getting more supply out to the country and out to the American people, more shots in arms.
The CDC expects with the vaccination of teens and increased testing in schools for those too young to get the shot, schools will be back to full in-person learning this fall. For the latest COVID-19 vaccine information, you can find it on WANDTV.com. A mayor's pushback. Springfield Mayor Jim Langfelder vetoed an ordinance to give him less spending authority. City council members limited the maximum he can spend without council approval from $50,000 to $10,000 at a meeting last month. The council would need 7 members to override the veto. The initial change passed with just 6 votes in favor of it. Unruly passengers coming up, the spike in violence leading airline officials to crack down. Plus, it's National Teacher Appreciation Day. We asked you to share your stories, some photos of teachers who have made an impact on your life. Visit our Facebook page, WAND TV News Center 17. We will highlight some of these teachers at the end of this newscast. We'll be right back.
You're watching Central Illinois' best source for news and weather.
A rise in bad behavior. The FAA says it has seen a staggering increase of unruly and dangerous behavior on planes. So far this year, there have been 1,300 incidents. Usually the agency gets 100 to 150 a year. The FAA says it is now taking a zero-tolerance approach to bad behavior. Unruly passengers can face criminal charges, fines up to $35,000 or lifetime bans on certain airlines. Amazon will take over exclusive rights for Thursday Night Football starting with the 2022 season. This marks the first time the NFL has sold a package of games exclusively to a streaming service. The games will only be available on television in local markets of the two teams playing. An uncertain future. After the pandemic began, handshaking was discouraged. Now, with more people vaccinated, experts say there are alternatives for those uncomfortable shaking hands.
The first is the grasp and greet, which is 2 hands, one in front of the other, over your heart, and then a nod and a verbal explanation. So, for instance, oh, I'm going contactless. I just want to make sure I keep you nice and safe.
Experts also suggest putting hands behind your back and nodding, or continuing to fist bump or elbow touch. Honoring Mom in 7 minutes, just how much Americans are expected to spend on the loved one this Mother's Day. Some more consumer news. Retail Me Not says 75% of people plan on buying a gift for their mom in their life for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is Sunday.
Even if we can't celebrate Mom or our mom figure in our life in person this year, doesn't mean that we can't celebrate in a different way.
Now, Americans plan on spending about $220 on Mom this year. Well, turning in her grade book, a Sullivan Elementary School teacher is retiring after 39 years. After having the opportunity to teach thousands of students, Miss Drollinger says she's thankful for all of the interactions she's had over the years. However, she knows that no matter what, she will always be a teacher at heart.
It's not just what I do, but kind of who I am. So yeah, you might see me still in any environment taking the opportunity to learn or educate whoever will listen.
Congratulations to her. Ms. Drollinger says she plans to travel some and visit her grandchildren. She does plan to help substitute teach when needed. The Little League World Series will return this year, but it will be scaled back. No international teams will be hosted. Instead, 16 U.S. teams will play. Another big change, the park won't be open to the general public. Only select family members and people associated with the teams will be allowed in.
There's something very special about that 12-year-old season in our program, and it was taken away from too many kids last year, and we didn't want to do that again this year.
The series will begin in August. 19 going on 90, still to come, home is where the heart is. How a teen found herself in a... New on WAND, an Arkansas 19-year-old is going viral on TikTok for where she calls home, a senior citizens apartment complex. Madison Coho, a nursing assistant, recently relocated from Oklahoma for college and moved into the complex. She says she did not know it was a senior living complex, and because it is equal opportunity housing, the landlord could not discriminate on her age. Coho says the community has made her feel right at home. Casey, I can only imagine what it's like to live with a bunch of senior citizens. It reminds me of going to Grandma and Grandpa's.
I think I almost did that when I was moving here.
Oh.
I didn't almost move in, but I was looking at, I think, a retirement complex over by Lake Decatur. I'm like, oh, it's right by the lake. And then my mom's like, wait.
Think about all the food and like the great presents you'd get from them.
I think I would love it.
Oh,
I would thrive.
I would absolutely love it. All right, check this out. It looks like someone shrunk the Carters. A photo released by the Carter Center shows the former president and First Lady appearing tiny sitting next to President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden. The culprit, most likely the wide-angle lens that was used to take this photo. How many times do you think you take a picture and you're like, oh, that's a horrible angle, and you don't post it? Did someone not see this photo and say,
yeah,
we shouldn't do this?
Photographers always click and then look at the little LED box. Maybe they missed out on this one and just assumed.
I mean, honestly, though.
I don't know.
I delete more photos than I take.
Yeah, me too. I recently deleted full on my phone.
Probably. We'll be right back. Trending now, today is National Teachers Day, and this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. We asked you to share photos and stories of teachers who have made an impact in your life on our Facebook page. So let's get to them. This is Bonnie Brownback. Lynette says when she was diagnosed with breast cancer and her daughter was starting school, Bonnie was there to help her daughter talk things through. Bonnie has continued to show their family support throughout the years. And Casey, you have a couple special ones.
Yes, I do. On the left of your screen, that is Mr. and Mrs. Godeke, my middle school Spanish and history teacher respectively, also both my cheer and track coaches respectively. They had such an impact on my life that we are still in contact.
Going out for beers.
Yes, I text them from time to time. They were my middle school teachers. Once I turned 21, they grabbed a beer with me. And then on the right there, that is Senora Nielsen. She was my Spanish teacher in high school. I spent nearly every study hall there with her. I would skip my lunch and go to study hall to sit in Senora Nielsen's room. So teachers,
cool.
Yes, I've always had a very good rapport with my teachers. My mom is a teacher. Can't stress to you all enough how much of an impact you have on young kids' lives, certainly mine. And as far as the upcoming forecast, a lot of wet weather we can expect over the next couple of days. Jim Kosick is back with the details.
All right, Casey, thanks. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you back here at 5.